Madison Carter struts into Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom as if she's making a grand entrance at the Met Gala, her $3,000 Prada bag swinging like a trophy at her side, Chanel sunglasses still perched on her face despite being indoors, and her Louis Vuitton heels clicking across the marble floor with the confidence of someone who's never heard the word consequences. 19 years old, flawlessly styled blonde hair, a designer outfit worth more than most people make in a month, and a gold necklace that reads "Daddy's Princess" shimmering beneath the courtroom lights. She's a walking billboard for privilege. In her right hand, her phone never stops moving, her manicured fingers scrolling through social media as if the world around her simply doesn't exist. And yes, she's late, not by a minute or two, but a bold, unapologetic 20 minutes. Because in her world, time bends for her convenience. She's not here for a parking ticket. She's facing reckless driving, hit and run, failure to stop, and obstruction of justice after tearing through Providence at 80 miles per hour in a 45 zone, sideswiping a delivery van, fleeing the scene, and only stopping once she reached the safety of her gated community 3 miles away. When the officer finally caught her, she didn't express guilt, fear, or even basic humanity. Instead, she asked him 7 different times whether he knew who her father was. Senator Richard Carter, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and the man whose name she's used as her personal get-out-of-trouble card her entire life. But what Madison hasn't bothered to learn, what all her privilege never taught her, is that Judge Frank Caprio doesn't bow to titles, money, or political muscle. In his courtroom, your last name, your wealth, your influence, none of it matters. Only your behavior, your respect for the law, and your willingness to take responsibility count, and Madison Carter is moments away from discovering that the hard way. The sentence she's about to receive will echo through political circles for years, because this time, Daddy's Princess is about to learn that her father's power ends the second she walks through that courtroom door, and not even his influence can shield her from what's coming. And still, as she finally reaches the defendant's table, she doesn't even bother to put her phone down. Madison is still glued to her phone when she enters, and instead of stopping, she lifts it higher. She's actually on FaceTime, her voice echoing through the quiet courtroom like she owns the place. "Yeah, hold on," she says loudly, not bothering to lower her voice or respect the setting she just walked into. "I'll call you back. This will take like 5 minutes." With a lazy swipe, she ends the call, drops into her chair without offering a single nod to the judge, the bailiff, or anyone breathing in the room, and immediately starts texting, gum cracking between her teeth as if she's killing time in a mall food court, not facing criminal charges. Judge Caprio looks up from the bench with the same calm dignity he grants to every person who stands before him, no matter their attitude or status. "Good afternoon, Miss Carter," he says gently. Madison doesn't even raise her eyes. She simply holds up one finger, the universal sign for wait, as if the judge is interrupting her VIP schedule. After 10 painfully long seconds, she finally glances up, wearing a look that mixes boredom with irritation. "Yeah, what?" she snaps. No greeting, no respect. Just the careless tone of someone who believes the world revolves around her Wi-Fi connection. Judge Caprio clocks the disrespect instantly. But decades on the bench have given him a nearly unshakable patience, even though this level of entitlement is pushing the limits of it. "Miss Carter," he repeats steadily, "you are charged with several serious offenses. Do you understand why you're here today?" Madison rolls her eyes dramatically, like a teenager asked to take out the trash. "Yeah, I know why I'm here. This whole thing is ridiculous. That van came out of nowhere, and I had an important event to get to. Besides, we already paid the guy, way more than that junky van was worth." The bailiff steps forward and formally calls the court to order, reading from the docket with crisp authority. The State of Rhode Island versus Madison Elizabeth Carter. Count 1. Reckless driving, traveling 80 miles per hour in a 45 zone. Count 2. Hit and run, leaving the scene of an accident with property damage. Count 3. Failure to obey a lawful order, refusing to stop for law enforcement for approximately 3 miles. Count 4 is read aloud obstruction of justice, attempting to intimidate an officer in the line of duty, and the weight of the words, hangs in the air as Judge Caprio turns his attention back to Madison. "Miss Carter, how do you plead to these charges?" he asks. Madison lets out an exaggerated sigh, flips her phone to selfie mode to check her reflection, smooths her hair, and finally answers, "This is so extra." "Not guilty, obviously. Can we just settle this so I can leave? I have dinner reservations at 7. Before Judge Caprio can even process the disrespect, Madison's attorney rises. David Morrison, polished, pricey, and radiating the confidence of someone who bills $1,000 an hour, buttons his suit jacket and steps forward. "Your Honor," he begins smoothly, "my client has offered full restitution for the minor property damage involved. The owner of the van has already accepted our settlement of $15,000. We believe this matter can be resolved quickly and amicably with the appropriate fines and restitution." Judge Caprio places his pen down with deliberate care, the soft click echoing through the silent room like a warning bell. "Mr. Morrison," he says, voice even but edged with unmistakable firmness, "this court does not handle criminal charges through private settlements. Your client is accused of fleeing the scene, disregarding lawful orders, and attempting to obstruct justice. These are not civil disputes you close with a check." Madison cuts in immediately, leaning forward as if she's clarifying something obvious to a confused audience. "We already paid him. Like way more than that janky van was worth, so this should be over, right?" She waits, fully expecting validation, because in her world, money fixes everything. Judge Caprio looks at her with that dangerous, measured calm that experienced observers know means trouble is coming. "Miss Carter," he says slowly, each word intentional, "this is not a negotiation. This is a court of law. We do not dismiss criminal charges because you wrote a check. The law applies to everyone equally regardless of wealth or family influence." But Madison isn't listening. She's already back on her phone, scrolling through Instagram, tapping likes and mumbling, "Right, whatever." Without lifting her eyes, Madison leans back with a dramatic huff, waving her hand dismissively. "Just tell me what box to check so we can wrap this up. I've got better things to do than sit here all afternoon." Her tone slices through the courtroom, leaving behind a stunned silence. Even the court reporter stops typing for a moment, eyes widening at the casual arrogance dripping from every word. Judge Caprio inhales slowly, summoning the restraint that decades on the bench have drilled into him. "Miss Carter," he says firmly, "we're going to review the evidence so everyone here understands exactly what happened 3 nights ago. Officer Rodriguez's dash cam and body camera footage have been submitted. We will watch them now." Madison groans loudly, rolling her eyes so hard it's a miracle they don't get stuck. "Do we really have to watch this? I already know what happened. I was there, remember? This is such a waste of time." Judge Caprio's expression stays composed, but the thinning patience behind his eyes is obvious. "Yes, Miss Carter. We do. Put your phone away and pay attention." With exaggerated reluctance, Madison slips her phone into her Prada handbag, making sure everyone sees just how burdensome this entire process is for her. She crosses her arms, slumps back, and pouts like a child forced to sit through a lecture. The courtroom monitors flicker on, and the dash cam footage begins. The timestamp reads 11:17 p.m., 3 nights ago. The video shows Madison's white BMW darting recklessly through traffic on Route 95, swerving between cars without signaling, pushing the limits of control as she accelerates. On the cruiser's dashboard, her speed registers at 78 miles per hour in a 45 zone. Officer Rodriguez switches on his lights and sirens, the night lighting up in urgent red and blue, but Madison doesn't slow down. She doesn't yield. She swerves again, cuts off a truck, and actually speeds up. The radio crackles with tension as Officer Rodriguez's voice reports, "Dispatch, I have a white BMW failing to yield." Suspect is not complying. Continuing pursuit on Route 95 northbound, approaching Oakmont Hills exit.